soap. Who's tried the lemon hand soap? It is so refreshing. I was so pumped when I tried it out for the first time, and it was that really strong lemon smell that I was really hoping for. Welcome, Leslie. Charlene says Ningxia Red and frankincense. Yeah, awesome.
So good, so good.
So Valor is probably my favorite scent out of all essential oils. And Ningxia Red is probably my favorite supplement. But there's so many favorites. Hard to pick just one.
Give me all the Ningxia.
Welcome, Jocelyn. Lori says Raven. Raven essential oil, fantastic for chest congestion, coughs, colds, asthma. Awesome. Digest, stress away, RC. All right, are we ready to get rolling? Janelle, do you have all your systems a check? Yes? Okay, I'm gonna get Janelle to mute everybody, and then she's going to unmute me afterwards.
Good story. Already done, my friend.
All right, good job. Okay, so first up tonight is Margaret. She's my neighbor. She actually lives across the street from me. And Margaret's gonna share with us a product that has made a huge difference in her life. So Margaret, are you on? I wanna make sure you're here.
Let's see if I can find Margaret. Here we go.
Oh, I see her. So Margaret, unmute yourself.
Okay. 39 miles an hour exactly.
Okay. Everybody hear me?
Very good. Oh, hang on. There's somebody that. There we go. Okay, give her.
Okay. So I started with Young Living about 5 years ago. And I started with the basic kit. And some of my favorites were lavender and lemon. And then I decided to explore some of the other oils in the kit. And I came across Digize. And I had for quite some time some issues with acid reflux and indigestion, that sort of thing. And I was actually taking medication from the doctor at the time. And then I came across an article saying that the medication that I've been on for quite some time is not one that you should have been left on for an extended period of time. So that did cause me quite a bit of concern. So anyway, I tried the Digize, and all I do whenever I have any kind of indigestion or anything, that I just take a drop. I've got the Digize Vitality here, but just regular Digize works as well. And I just put a drop on my finger and underneath my tongue, and it works like, it's almost like magic. Like, I can't believe how quickly the relief comes. And so Digize has, over here, it contains tarragon, ginger, peppermint, juniper, fennel, lemongrass, anise, and patchouli. And it is also a natural health product. So it's listed as that as well. So it works for upset stomach. I know that some people, if they've got a little bit of nausea, they can just even smell a little bit. Just inhale it for a bit, and it kind of settles down the stomach. You can put it directly on your stomach, like around your belly button. I find that when I do that, I have to dilute with a carrier oil because it makes me itchy. So I don't know quite what it is that makes me itch like that, but as soon as I use it with the carrier oil, I have no problem with it. So, but usually for me, just a drop under my tongue, because like I said, I was on medication through the doctor, and then in addition to that, I found I was having to take those Pepto-Bismol pills, and didn't like waking up with a black tongue sometimes when I would take them late at night or whatever. So anyway, so yeah, that's my story. So but it's just like, it just blows me away how quickly I get relief from it. And it's just wonderful. So it's not the greatest taste. I know some people put it in their water and maybe put a something else to cover the taste or whatever, but I've gotten used to it and they don't bother me anymore. So
that's
it.
awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Margaret. What an amazing story.
You're welcome.
I love it when we find obviously like natural solutions to something that a medication we had thought we had to be on forever, right?
Yeah, that we shouldn't have been in the first place.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
So
it's okay.
amazing. Well, thank you so much. So now I would like to introduce to you one of the members from our Hope Essentials team. Her name is Peggy. Peggy comes to us from Lacombe, Alberta. She's a wife and mother and grandmother. And so she is going to share with us a little bit about her story. So if I can find her here. Where are you, dear Peggy? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to unmute Peggy. And all right. Hey, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good.
Awesome.
I'm doing
Awesome.
good.
All right,
Yeah.
we're ready to hear from you and hear your story.
Okay. When I was about 14, 15 years old, I realized that I was having headaches. Constant, nonstop, varying in degrees, in amount of pain. And so, of course, I go for the usual battery of tests and exams. And the only thing the neurosurgeon recommended, my very shy 15-year-old self was horrified when he suggested I go off the pill. He insisted I should get off the pill because that's what was causing my headaches, the contraception pill. I thought, well, I'll never go on the pill. So I lived with headaches for 45 years with chiropractic care helping to some degree until I met my newest one, which helps much more because he does more on my head, which the others didn't. And then when I started with Janelle on her team, I discovered M-Grain and Deep Relief. And what I used to vary from that level of pain from 5 to 7 on a daily basis, I can now manage it with my M-Grain and I also take Malcal with my first drink every morning, magnesium calcium supplement. And the Deep Relief, I can keep it pretty well between 3 and 5 degrees of pain. I have skeletal issues too, so I think it's a constant thing, but it sure is nice to have that relief with the Malcal, which tastes delicious. It's always in my first bottle of water. And then, like say, when things get a little tense and whatnot, I use the M-Grain and the Malcal, or M-Grain and the Deep Relief, depending on where my headache tends to be, whether it's the back of my neck or my forehead or whatever. And that's my story.
Amazing. So the doctor wanted you on the pill, and
no, he wanted to take. He told me I should get off the pill.
Okay.
He assumed as a young lady I was on the pill, and he said that's what's causing your headaches. He would not listen to me when I told him I was not on the pill.
Okay.
But it cured me. And I bet my takeaways from that was I'll never go on the pill.
Oh yeah. So he assumed that you were on the pill, and he told you to get off the pill.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I'm not even on the pill.
Yeah. Talk about feeling mortified. Ugh.
Right, that he was accusing you of that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that's what you meant. I wasn't sure. Okay, yeah. And so yeah, that you're able to manage your pain better using the oils and our supplements.
And the supplement.
That's
yeah,
amazing. Oh, so great.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for sharing your story. That's really awesome. I love hearing people's stories. It's so much fun. Okay, next we have Jocelyn Papp. Jocelyn comes to us from Lloydminster, Alberta. She is a dear friend of mine who locked arms with me right at the very beginning. Jocelyn, where is she? There she goes. Is the mother of 6 children, also a set of amazing twins that my Johnny absolutely adores. So I am going to give it up for Jocelyn.
Thank you. So my story was that, or it is, I've had several, but this one in particular, it still blows me away. In December of 2018, I had a cavity in my molar at the back. And it was like really deep. It was very awful. Anyhow, so that was okay. And then about 6 months later, woke up and my whole like face was sore. So I actually used, I couldn't get in to see my dentist for a couple of days. So I used clove oil on a Q-tip and I put it directly on my tooth to numb the pain, which I did frequently because it was quite severe when you have an abscess tooth. And so I went to the dentist and he said, yes, it has to get pulled or a root canal. And I was like, I'm not getting a root canal, so just pull it. So then we had scheduled it probably maybe the next day or something like that. And so he froze me and then he pulled the tooth out. And so when I got home to manage the pain, I did the morphine bomb. So it's 5 drops of balsam fir and 5 drops of copaiba, and then the 5 drops of frankincense. And so I did that. That one's a little bit fuzzy. So I took 1 capsule every 2 hours for the first day, maybe even the first 2 days. And so after the freezing had come out, I had no pain, like nothing. I thought for sure my jaw would have been sore, or, you know, because dental pain is like awful. So, but I had nothing. So I just kept on taking it for probably maybe 3 days or so. And that was it. Like no dental pain. Anyhow, so it still blows me away. So anytime we have any kind of pain in our house where it's quite severe, that's what we take. And I take it consistently if, you know, if it has to be like after like, I don't want to say surgery, but you know, something like that where there's some kind of trauma that you've experienced. And so just to take it consistently for those few days, and it works like top notch. It's very good. And it has been a lifesaver for us so that we don't have to turn to like pharmaceuticals to manage our pain. So that's my story.
Awesome.
I was gonna say thanks, Jocelyn, for sharing that story. I remember when you were going through that and you sharing about how you were using it, and it was like working so well. So always fun to know that the oils work for what we want them to work for. Okay, just somebody saying they can't hear. Is anybody else having that issue, or is it just one person? Shelby's not able to hear, but everybody else can hear. Okay, yeah. Hey, and you know, if you guys are ever asked about getting a root canal, do some research into it, because there's a lot of stories coming out, people who've had root canals and then have had issues with them afterwards, some pretty big issues. So I'm happy that Jocelyn didn't end up getting a root canal and she opted to just get it pulled instead. All right, so next up we have Karen Barker, who is from Aldergrove. I'm hoping I'm saying that right, BC. I have not had the opportunity to meet you yet, Karen, but I heard through the grapevine that you have an amazing story to share with us tonight. Sherry Lynn let us know that you had some a surgery recently, and so you used oils to help you recover, and we would love to hear your story. So we will let Janelle find you and get you unmuted.
All right, why don't you unmute yourself, and that will help me. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, about 2 months ago on May 2nd, I had a freak accident which involved knee surgery on May 5th. I was in extreme pain. I did take the painkillers that the surgeon prescribed, and I didn't like them. So a week after that, I contacted Sherry Lynn George. I am grateful to have her on my journey of healing. She is very knowledgeable in essential oils. So she was telling me to use lavender oil just around my incision for a couple of weeks. And then I have a high pain tolerance, so the pain was getting pretty rough and in my shoulders and my lower back. So I spoke with Sherry Lynn again, and she had suggested to put lavender and peppermint mixed on and around my incision. I had 24 staples. And then after about 3 weeks, I started using frankincense mixed with coconut courier oil with lavender and massaged that into my knee. And then Sherry Lynn's come over again. She's been blessing in my journey of healing. Thanks, Sherry Lynn. She's come over now and made me some homemade painkillers with frankincense, and I didn't write them down, so Sherry Lynn, I can't remember. I take 1 pill at night, and my pain's gone in the morning, and I'm still doing therapy and massaging the oils, and that's my story.
Thank you, Karen, for coming on tonight and sharing that with us. I'm so glad that you were able to find something that helped you after that surgery. That mustn't have been easy to go through.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Thankful for the oils.
Thank
and thankful
you.
for you tonight for coming on here and letting us know your story.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, next up we have Melanie Poulin, who is from Elk Point. So Melanie works, I think she runs, not just works at, runs a daycare center in Elk Point. And she's also a certified ULA life coach, which means she helps people achieve their goals and achieve balance in their lives. So you can give us a little spiel about that too, along with your testimony if you'd like. Welcome, Melanie.
Okay, so can everybody hear me now?
Yep.
I'm not sure. You might hear the dog at the same time. I'm out on the deck. So thanks for having me today. You know what, I'm going to talk about something that I always have in the house, the cold bombs. And I also use the morphine bombs sometimes, because sometimes it's just to grab the natural products. I remember meeting Crystal in the beginning, and she said, "You're going to change your whole medicine cabinet." And I'm like, sure, I'm going to take away all those other medications. I have, everywhere I sit, a whole schwack of oils for something. So one of the things that I use, and in the house, sometimes, I don't know if you guys get this with your kids, but they have this little pushback because it's essential oils. They're not going to use it, but I always sneak one in. So I always have the vegetable capsules in our house at some point, and that's what you can make your morphine bombs and your cold bombs in. So for me, the oils that we use in the cold bomb are the Thieves, and I'll drop the kind of recipe, but, and I don't know if anybody else does this. When I have a headache, what do I use for a headache? I go YL recipes for headaches, and there's a whole bunch on Pinterest and on the Google. Just Google, because a lot of them are all there. So we have Thieves, we have frankincense, we have lemon and tea tree and oregano in that recipe. And I put those in one of the drops into the vegetable capsule. And when I feel a cold coming on, I have constant allergies, but when I feel a cold coming on, you get achy and you're just stuffed up really extra, and you just feel sick. I'll drop that. I'll take 3 of those a day. So one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. And I also make myself up a roller bottle. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I save every single bottle that I get, because you can remake any single recipe in it. And just always remember, I don't know if you're like me, but half the time the recipe falls off, and then you're sniffing and going, yes, I think that there is some peppermint in there. I think it's time. Yeah, it must have been 4. You never know, but you use it all over the place anyways, because it'll just feel good. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, so you can always get those the roller caps in your order. You reuse all your bottles. You make your own recipe. And I add in my recipe bottles the B6 oil. But of course you can use a whole bunch of different ones from like coconut oil or whatever, if you don't have that one. But these work. I don't have a specific time, but they work. And Crystal mentioned that I do run the daycare. At Christmas time, we buy these little bottles and we make a sniffle rub, we call it. And we put a variation of these kinds of oils in a real diluted coconut oil recipe, and parents ask for it every year. They're like, oh, I have that. Are you making those again? And we're like, sure, we can do that. And, you know, honestly, like, it's really, it's great to have these oils. They just make you feel better when you smell it. When you were a kid and you smelt the mustard, well, okay, then I'm aging myself. When you smelt mustard pack, or you smelt the other things, you know, 8535 or whatever they were, but you know that when you're using the deep relief, it's even better. I just think that those are just comforting. So thanks for having me on. And yes, I'm an inner life coach, and yeah, you can follow me. I'm still learning and going through this process too. So if anybody wants to go through that process with me, come along. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, Melanie. So that cold balm roll-on, are you just putting that on your neck and your chest and your back, or are you putting it on your feet, or where are you putting it?
On the bottom of my feet, especially. And then you can I put it on my chest if I'm really congested up in my chest, and on my back, but really on the bottom of my feet, because I'll put that on under my socks in the day too, right? So when I go to put on the socks, I put it on the bottom of my feet. And I think that this almost works better sometimes than, oops, are you still there?
You're there.
I don't know where you guys went. I'll find you later. I think that this works better than the capsules sometimes, but I don't know. I just know they all work.
Do a combination of the capsules as well as topical application.
Yeah. So in your opinion, now, because I know you know a lot about this, do you think that that is good to use both? Is too much?
No, I think it's fine to use both. If you're using an oil like oregano or thieves internally for a longer period of time, you should start to use a Life 9 probiotic before bed to just replenish your good gut flora. But nothing wrong with taking it internally and putting it on topically. I do both.
Nice. Me too. Me too. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, and I love that you give that to the parents. What a great gift for them.
Oh, we've done that for 3 years now. 3 years.
And it's like they want it now. They
do. Yeah, they do.
Awesome rub.
Yeah.
And that's really easy to do, you guys. Like buying some coconut oil and whipping up something and giving it as a gift. Super easy. So
it's really nice as gifts, yes.
Somebody's asking you to type out the recipe for the cold balm capsules.
Okay, I might lose you and have to come back in. I have no idea where you went on my computer. I know my green button's on. This is so sad.
Okay, and somebody wants your sniffle rub recipe if you remember.
Okay, I will.
All right, thanks for sharing.
Okay.
All right, so now it is time to turn to Carmel. Carmel, are you on? Let us find you. I know you were having some trouble with your connection, but here you are. Let's say hello. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, lake friend. How's the lake?
Hi. It's good. Thank you.
So
we're enjoying it.
Is from Lloydminster. She's the mother of 4, and she's going to tell us a remarkable story about Ningxia Red.
So I started my journey with Young Living 5 years ago, and that was after having both hips replaced and both knees replaced, and also being on the waiting list to have both ankles replaced. The osteoarthritis in my body was attacking me quite vigorously. So Janelle had introduced me to some of the products, and the kit had come on sale, and we had decided to get a kit, which was great. But what really changed my world was the Ningxia Red. So we started taking that and adding that into my daily regime. I did 2 ounces in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, within 3 weeks, one of the big results that I had was I started waking up naturally from the naps that I had to take every day. So basically around lunchtime, I would sleep until 3 or 4 until the kids got home. And then I'd be back up, do what we needed to do with the children, and then I was back in bed. So my life was very, very homebound, and was walking with a cane and walker and not doing well at all. Within 14 months, I managed with the Ningxia Red and the essential oils to actually get off of all of my pain medication and put my cane and walker away. So that was very, very life-changing for me and my family. And just throughout my journey, I mean, Young Living has been absolutely a huge blessing. It has blessed me with some wonderful trips. It has blessed me with some financial freedom that I didn't think I'd have ever. And this summer, I've pretty much spent the last month here at the lake. And my husband's been so kind to set up internet. It is pouring rain right now and thundering, so in case I lose you, I'm sorry. But yeah, a couple little wonderful tips about the travel pouches. These are great. I have taken them on trips with Young Living. They've gone across customs, no problem. If my kids are not feeling well, I will throw them in the freezer, turn them upside down, cut the tops off, and it becomes kind of like a soothing, freezy kind of pop that they enjoy. Another one of my favorites is in a Contigo cup. I'll put about a quarter of Ningxia Red and the rest with hot water. You can add oils if you choose, but it makes it like a wonderful, warm, soothing kind of Ningxia cider drink. The other tip I wanted to share, I know some of the girls were talking about the morphine balm to take internally, but also topically. Because of my arthritis, I found the roller balls were hard for me to use with my hand. So I actually turned to a lot of spray bottles. I'll put in, this one actually has Aroma Season V6, but I find it very easy to spray into my hand and to massage on my knees, my neck, or my back. So yeah, and that's a little bit about my story.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Carmel. And enjoy the rest of your lake time. Hopefully it won't pour all the time.
Right.
Oh boy, yeah, we're getting a downpour here too. I can hear.
Thank you.
Goodness me. Okay, well, we are going to hear now.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. All right. We're going to hear from Teresa. Let's see if I can see where she's at. Haha, look at gorgeous Teresa. Okay, so Teresa is a friend of mine that I met in Prince Edward Island when I went to teach classes right all across on the other side of the Canadian country. And so great to have you here, my friend. Thank you for staying up so late to be with us. And let's hear what you have to share.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. It's nice to see you again, Janelle and everyone else. I'm going to give you a short, I hope, short testimony about my husband. It's not myself, but it's my husband. My husband is, to begin with, a very skeptical person who doesn't believe that any natural products can help. He's got several issues, health issues, and is on a lot of medication. And he's asked the doctor last October, I believe it was, to try to cut back on medications because he was realizing that all in all, the medication is helping, but not helping him very well. So, but one big issue with him, with the medication that he's on, was that some of the stuff was keeping him awake. And so they were giving him other stuff to make him sleep. And that would work for a little while. Like he'd go to bed around 9 o'clock at night. And by midnight, he was awake and then would doze off until maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. And he was usually up around 3 in the morning. So anyways, a couple of weeks ago, I believe, my daughter and I went to visit Debbie Montgomery, who was on a couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago, I believe it was 2 weeks ago tonight. And so we went to visit her because I had a few questions, because I'm fairly new to Young Living. I just joined in November. So anyways, during our visit, we were talking about other issues and questions I had about Young Living, and she happened to mention about her battle with insomnia and how Young Living and what had helped her in the Young Living products. And that struck me because I thought, my husband is dealing with these issues also. And she was telling us how she just uses lemon oil on her feet with the carrier oil. So we use fractionated coconut oil, and she would put that on her feet, leave it sit for like 5-10 minutes, and then use lavender. And how effective it was. So I thought, well, I'm going to try this on my husband. But the skeptical person he is and doesn't want to try anything natural, I thought, well, how am I going to get around this? Anyways, so after we came home, I thought, well, I'm going to do this when he's asleep, like sneak it, or I'm going to just try to talk to him about it. But if he didn't agree, I would do it when he's sleeping anyway. But so anyways, so I came home, and before he went to bed, I mentioned that to him, how it had helped someone else, how it had helped Debbie. And surprisingly, he says, well, I'm willing to try anything. So anyway, I put the lemon oil, left it for about 5 or 10 minutes. I had prepared some in a roller bottle. And then I did the same with the lavender, put it under his feet. Well, the next morning, it was like 7 or 7:30 when he woke up, and he did not know what was going on. He was just kind of astonished, like the sun's up already and he's just waking up. So anyway, that was fine. And, but he figured it's coincidence. So the next night I put it on again, the same thing, and the next night and the next night. So now it's been 12 days that he's been getting up between 6:30 and 7 in the morning. This morning was 6 o'clock, but he has not been sleeping like this in probably anywhere from 6 to 8 years that he wasn't sleeping at night. He was up, which when I was working, I just recently retired, so it's okay. But when I was working, he would be up, he'd tidy up the kitchen or whatever, do dishes, and then he'd get my breakfast ready and he'd get my lunch ready for work. But now I'm retired, he doesn't need to do that. So I'm kind of glad I didn't find it earlier. So anyways, but now he's a believer, and he asks for it every single night. I actually haven't put the lavender on his feet yet tonight, but I went and just before this started, I put the lemon, and he asks for it every night. And the last 3 nights, I think he says, put some of that lavender roller on my pillow too. So that's what I've been doing. And he's getting a good night's sleep, and he's really amazed that something like natural will work. So anyway, that's my story, and my hubby's sleeping like a baby right now.
Oh, so great. I love it. Thank you for sharing today.
Yeah, thank you.
Right? It's so fun when we finally find something that works. It's so like amazing that it's natural and it works. So great. So one thing I wanted to share, just a brief story that I have is, so I have a little guy who has really bad candida now and again. And so when he was littler, he's kind of been struggling with this like his whole kind of life. I think it was just because he was susceptible to candida when he was a baby. I think because he had a round of antibiotics or something like that. Anyhow, his gut flora is like kind of never been the same. And when he was a baby, he used to get bum rashes really bad. One of the things that you can do for bum rashes for babies is that works really well is you can open up a Life 9 capsule. So Life 9 is our probiotic pill, and you just like literally sprinkle it on the baby's bum. Like, you know, it gets that red rashy stuff. Sprinkle it on the baby's bum, and then I would just put either some V6 or some type of like moisturizer of some sort with like no oils in it, just a moisturizer. Animal ointment is really good, or rose ointment, and just kind of cover the Life 9 a little bit just to kind of keep it on him. And the rashes would go away really, really quickly. And then when he was nursing, I would stick my finger in the Life 9 tablet, like lick my finger, stick it in the Life 9 capsule, and then let him suck on it, like as if he was like nursing my finger. And that really helped as well to recalibrate his gut flora. Now, of course, he's older. He is 5 now, going on 6. And so we give him the Mighty Pro, which is the probiotics for kids. They're kind of like pixie sticks. You can buy them off the US site, or if you're in the US, obviously you can order them, no problem. But the kids love them. They love taking them. And that really helps with keeping his gut flora, his yeast under control. Because it is kind of a resurgent thing, because with kids, it's really hard to keep them on a completely, you know, no sugar, no fruit, no anything kind of diet, no grains or anything like that. So he sometimes has a resurgence, but we can really keep it in check with the Mighty Pro sticks. So yeah, that's a little bit of my story as well.
Awesome, Janelle. Thanks for sharing that. I love that you always have these little tips and tricks of how to use our products in different ways, like opening the capsule and putting it on the child's skin. You know, who would have ever thought of that? Anyway, pretty cool. All right, so next up we have Shelly. Shelly is from Red Deer, and she is a dedicated teacher. That's what she does there for a living. And she's on here tonight to share a story with us. Thank you, Shelly.
Hey everybody, nice to see you all. So my story, so in 2014, I sustained a concussion and I was on and off work. I was off for a few months, went back, and my brain couldn't handle it, and I was off again for a couple of years. And I had every symptom. When you see concussion symptoms, I had every single one. And I tried every therapy out there. We have really, really good benefits. So I was able to access pretty much anything that I needed. And so with all these different therapies, you know, baby steps, I got a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better till I was at the point where most of my symptoms had been resolved. Except one thing that I noticed was every time I cleaned my house, I got a migraine. And I just could not figure out what was going on. And I thought, well, maybe it's the head movement, right? You're vacuuming, you're going back and forth, or, you know, you're wiping and going up and down. But I'd done a bunch of eye therapy and different balance things and stuff. And so according to all the tests, that should have all been sorted out. That shouldn't be the problem. And then it finally dawned on me one day that maybe it was my cleaning products. And I had Thieves Cleaner in the house, but I was still using my old gunky stuff because, you know, that's what I do. So anyways, I started using the Thieves and I ditched everything. And all I used was the Thieves Cleaner. And I have this other microfiber cloth that I was using for quite a while. And when I started thinking about everything, I realized that when I had started using the microfiber cloth, my son's allergies were better. And so then when it kind of clicked that, gee, maybe it's the cleaning products, and I started thinking, well, I've been using this cloth and allergies are better. So if I use just the Thieves, we'll see what happens. And honestly, within a month, my migraines were good. I mean, I still get migraines for cognitive fatigue and things, but I never get a migraine when I clean my house anymore. And so I don't use anything in my house other than Thieves Cleaner.
Wow, such a great story.
Such a win. Thank you,
Yeah,
Shelly.
huge win. Thank you.
Huge win for you and your family.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much goes in the air, what you're breathing in when you're cleaning with those toxic cleaners. Hey, how much it affects our health, the health of our children, the health of our pets, you know, all the residues that are left behind, the VOCs that go in the air. Oh, it's just horrible for you. Glad you made that connection. All right, next up, we're going to do a giveaway. Janelle, do you have our winner there listed?
I am pulling them up.
Okay, so we are giving away a $25 product credit tonight to a lucky winner. So you can spend it whatever way you want. It'll go right onto your account. And Janelle's going to grab that name.
Our lucky winner. Our lucky winner is Eileen Caffersal. So congratulations, Eileen.
Congratulations, Eileen.
Yay, you're the winner. You get $25 put on your account to buy whatever you like. That's exciting.
Here, Eileen. Okay, Eileen. Hello,
Thank
Eileen.
you. Thank you. I'm so excited.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Awesome. Okay, so Crystal, are we going to let them in on our little
Yeah. So we're really excited, you guys, because we've been working on another series. We're going to do a 6-week series. So keep an eye out for that. We will be announcing it at the end of summer and letting you guys know what topics we will be covering. And also, keep an eye out for a Thieves Challenge, which will be coming your way in August. This will be happening on our Facebook page. So if you're not already there, make sure that you get yourself added and add your friends and family to our Your Best Life Naturally Facebook page, because we will be doing some thieves education there, talking about all the Thieves products. It's not just the oil. We have a whole line of Thieves products. And then you will also get a chance to win a fantastic Thieves prize pack by taking part of that Thieves Challenge, learning something new every day and commenting on the posts and whatnot. So make sure that you're there, that you're added there, and keep an eye out for that in August, and keep an eye out for our next series, which we'll be announcing at the end of the summer. We thank you so much, you guys, for being with us for this 8-week series. Some of you have been on every single call, and it's no fun doing this if nobody wants to learn alongside us. So we are so appreciative of you guys taking the initiative to be with us and the time that you've given us and that you've trusted us with your health and want to learn how to use these products in an effective and safe way. So thanks so much. Janelle, you got anything to say to close it off?
No, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Just know Crystal and I continue to pray for you and your families, for your protection, for your wellness. And we look forward to continuing to plan this series, and we will see you back at the end of the summer. God bless and see you later. Bye for now.